this side.
Oh, you can't see it?
I can.
Feel better because I know it's recording.
Yeah,
too.
no kidding, right? Oh man, that's so nice. Last time you're just looking at that camera like, man, I hope that thing's working. Well, last time it wasn't working.
All right, and
Welcome to episode 12 of the Slightly Serious Sign podcast. This podcast was voted number 1 by Jared Granberry. Wanted to make sure that he knew, or IT Supply knows, that we are the number 1 sign podcast over IT Supplies. So, Jeff, don't blame me. That's on Jared. Call Jared. He's the one that said it. But this is also our Mother's Day episode. Mother's Day was yesterday, so make sure you better have called your mom and wished her happy Mother's Day. That's why we have Judy on, because she tries to be a mother to all of us, or at least likes to discipline us like she's our mother. So that's why Judy's on today. It's for Mother's Day. We never even told her she was coming on. We didn't even tell her we were at this a Mother's Day episode. She's learning for right now. So Judy, happy Mother's Day yesterday.
Thank you, I think.
Well,
Thanks for coming on with the big notice that we gave you of what?
5 minutes.
yeah, we did tell her.
Half.
I literally called her, said, when you coming in today? Because we had a meeting at 11, and she said, I'll be in about 5 minutes. I said, good, we got to do a podcast. And so she combed her hair, and she came in.
So we had to have Judy on because the topic for today is the difference between Signman and Signwoman, but it didn't feel acceptable to have 2 guys talk about that. So we figured you would come on and then you could be the moderator.
I'll straighten you out.
Yeah. However, I did run this by some sign women that complained that I didn't make a sticker for them at the Sign World show. And they thought that the concept was hilarious and that we should do it. So I think we would have passed either way, but you can let us know if anything we say is incorrect in this episode. So
Yeah, so to be very clear, we've mentioned Signman
And sign guys.
and Sign Guys probably 100 plus times on our podcast already. But we want to let you know that is not a general neutral term. When we talked about Signman, we are not talking about Signwoman. Those are 2 different people, completely different people. And we're going to get into it. We're going to tell you why we think they're different. And most of you will say, yep, you're right. So, Tyler?
okay, nobody has seen my list because I thought it would be funnier if we all got to hear it on live. So I'll start. It's very simple. The first one, the difference between a sign man and a sign woman. Number 1, duct tape. There's no women using duct tape, but there's a lot of sign guys out there using duct tape.
True.
That's 100%. That I don't think that just goes to Signman. I think that goes for like your house too.
I think so too.
Like if you have to fix something at home, that's the first thing I do. I go for the tape. Tape and zip ties.
My favorite one is when we get pictures of people that have opened up like sign faces and they've retrofitted, like fluorescent bulbs, but they didn't have the sockets to do it. So instead they just duct taped them on the top and the bottom just to hold them in. They held up fine. So it's usually not where the issue is, but yeah, there's no women going up there and putting duct tape in there. That's unacceptable.
No, I don't. Maybe you have this one on your list too. There's also not a woman that's going up there and leaving the power on. Like the man goes up there, he's still got the power on. The woman has the power off to the sign, the building, and maybe the city. the guy, no, I can get it. I'll be fine.
Just some rubber coated gloves, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
As long as you don't grab on too hard, you'll probably be okay.
I'm on a ladder. I should be fine.
Yeah, it's grounded. A wooden ladder. It's a wooden ladder, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah. And it's usually on the back of his truck too. So you got a wooden ladder on the back of a truck with the rubber tires on the ground.
That's literally what my second one is. There's no women putting ladders on the back of trucks or on top of high-lows or all of the ridiculous things we've seen people do to install signs. Most of them will use a ladder the way it's meant to be used and a bucket truck the way it's meant to be used. Sign guys, questionable.
Yeah, and for Judy and for OSHA, we've never done that here.
Correct.
We've never stood on the forks of the fork truck and been lifted up to the top to grab something.
Yep.
It's never
I have
happened
nothing
here.
to say. I'm absolutely positive that has never happened.
That's never happened here. We would never do something like that.
Yeah, that would be out of control. It is weird though that, not that we've tested it, but how well the ladders fit on the forks. You know what I mean? Like we just set one on there just to see, if it's stable.
It's like they're made for it, right?
It does look that way, but obviously
you guys, you have to stop. They're going to walk in the
we
door.
didn't climb on the ladder. We just put it on the.
Yeah, we're
just to
checking
see,
it.
Oh,
We were-
okay. Yeah.
we were
I believe
testing
you.
the
just to
rules.
see if it worked.
I believe you.
Yeah, but then we found out that apparently OSHA says you can't do it, so then we had to take the ladder off. Yeah.
We're compliant here.
I
We
think
got
so.
open aisles. Everything's compliant. looks good. It's in good shape.
I mean, the fire people come here like every 3 weeks. I feel
That's
like.
true.
I feel like Ryan sends us an email that like, hey, they're coming again.
Do you ever notice that guy looks just like Domingo too?
We must buy that guy lunch or something.
I even told Domingo sent me a picture with him because Domingo even thought that might be his brother. Like they
just
look
in case.
identical.
In case he's got to find him later when he finds out he has an extra brother.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
So,
so the ladder on the truck was my second one, but the third one that I had was, again, just 2 words, real simple, good enough. I think there's a lot of sign guys out there that will just use the word good enough. There's no women out there saying that either.
Or what could
That's
possibly...
why Mike's not good enough.
Yeah. The other one's what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
That's been used a lot in my life. I think it's close enough. What can possibly go wrong?
I mean, and this isn't to blame you because I understand, but I've been to a lot of ones where someone will call you in and be like, hey, we have an issue with the sign. You're looking at it. I have no idea what I'm here for, even though I know there's an issue with the sign. I'm just looking at it like, I don't know. It looks good. I don't know what you're looking at. And then they're like, no, it's this little speck, right? You're like, okay, I see what you're saying. That is a manufacturer issue. But also, the guys would have already had, that sign would have been up 2 weeks ago. Instead, we're looking at it. And I get it because you want it to be perfect, which is the accurate way, right? Your customer paid for a perfect sign, so you should have a perfect sign. I'm saying guys way more likely to use the term good enough. That'll do. Like we talked about in the podcast with IT supplies where it's good at 50 feet or good at 55 miles an hour. I think that's on the guys' side of the business. That's not on the women's side of the business. They don't agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Or you get you can bring up this customer that, hey, there was a defect in your sheet, but I could still use your sheet. Will you give me a discount? Like, did you give your customer a discount? Well, no. Like, well then, like, why'd you use the sheet? We'll bring you a new one. And that happens frequently.
A lot.
And it's usually by the exact same customers over and over and over again.
Somebody wanting a discount, and when they send you the picture, the sheet is already completed and it's on the truck. It's clear. It's done. Going out for install, and they're reaching out. Hey, any chance we can get a discount? Like, it looks like you're about to go install that, so probably not.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they told you early enough, I guess that's different. But we kind of talked about this one too, but no harnesses. I think this just goes for general OSHA violations.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest way to summarize it. I think men are more likely to do things that are a little questionable.
Leave the house to go hunting, bow hunting up a tree, and you say, are you going to use your harness? Do you have it with you? What? No.
Harness just slows you down. That's what most people think.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, we have stands at the farm, not anymore because I'm getting a little older, that were mic stands where it's like, the only person that's going to get in that stand is Mike, because I didn't necessarily, like, if you could use a limb and I could barely reach that limb, I knew I could at least pull myself up. So there were stands where like nobody else could get into them, but I didn't take the time to put the extra stakes in and that kind of stuff. So, but I also, like my mom used to say when I was little, I have no healthy fear. Like, I've managed to live this long without any, healthy fear. Like, normal things that would scare people don't necessarily scare me. So, yeah, somehow I made it. Now 49 years old and haven't died yet.
Yeah, I think that same thing goes back to what we talked about earlier. We're not turning off the electrical. I think you'll talk to guys, especially people doing a lot of electrical signs, about how many times they shock themselves. And most of the time that's just like a test, right? Like, just, okay, you flipped off the power, but maybe before you go up there, check it. I think they're a little less likely to check it and just be like, I already flipped it off. We'll be fine. You got 2 leads coming in, one's off, one's on. You find out when you get up there.
I don't know. Have you ever done this on a farm to see who can hold on to the fence the longest?
Hold on to the.
I mean, you never see 2 girls doing that, but you'll see 2 guys seeing who can hold the fence the longest. You guys laugh. Like, you never tried that? You should try it sometime.
Yeah.
Well, they talked me into touching an electric fence only one time.
We were trying to see who could hold on to it the longest.
That's sad.
That's the other thing that might be true, is that I think women would be more likely to double check men's work. So, example, just going back to electrical fence again, is one time I got tasked with trimming all of the grass that's growing next to the fence, so you get regular current. And they said, yeah, it's off. probably should like check that, just to confirm before you go up and just like kind of push it out of the way so you can trim the grass to find out that only half of the electrical fence was off in the first place. But going into signs, I think it would be the same way. Like, I think a guy would just take your word for it when you'd be like, yeah, I turned it off, and be like, okay, now go up there. No test, nothing. Just grab the wires when you get to the top. Women would probably at least like double check, But it's probably because they've been lied to a few
My life
times.
is double checking Mike.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I think it goes back to the basics. Yeah, I took the trash out. Do you think your wife's not going to go and look and make sure you took the trash out? She's looking. Because, well, chances are you probably didn't take the trash out anyways, but yeah.
Or like your kids. Did you take the trash out? Yes. Did you take it out of the garage to the actual container? And it was always the boys.
Yeah. So you get it like mostly right, but not all the way right?
Yes.
Well, listen, I mean, I didn't have any daughters, but I have a granddaughter now. The granddaughter was sitting there crying, emotional about it, that she had to do something.
That's probably true.
Like they have, I mean, yeah. I never had to raise daughters, luckily, because I think I would have failed miserably. Like, not that I didn't fail about boys, but for sure I'd have failed daughters because, like, why are we throwing a fit about getting your hair done? But that's
a little more patience required.
A lot more patience required with daughters than sons, at least my sons.
But I think going back to what we just said,
So I just pushed Tyler down, tell him to shut up.
can't confirm or deny these allegations. But I think going back to, men are more direct if you give someone instructions, right? Like, hey, go up there, do this. I think if you didn't give them all of the sub points that should be on there, those sub points aren't going to get done, right? If you just said, go up there and do this, and then you ask, okay, well, did you also do this? But, well, no, you didn't ask me to do that. I just went up there. Like, did you secure it up there? No, I just put the sign in. That's what you asked me to do.
They probably weren't listening to the sub points anyway.
Well, that's probably true too. They're not the best listeners in the world. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of women that agree on that one.
Did you guys just say something?
Okay, but we have been talking a lot of, it seems like mostly bad things about men. I'll put this picture. So if you're watching on the YouTube version, you can see it, but I just saw this. So something that women will not do is I saw a guy that had a toolbox. It was like an old, like metal, like tackle box type deal that he converted into a grill. Put charcoal in the bottom and he cooked his food on it. You just opened it up, made his food on the job. That is also something only a guy would do. He's up there making a job up on the platform on his little charcoal tackle box. So there's a picture of this. We'll put it up for YouTube so you can see it. But I don't see any women doing that one though. So that's where they got him beat.
Yeah, I don't see it either. And I don't know if there's any women out there that live by like the same philosophy, at least I do, that safety and precision just cost you time. Like, that's my life motto right now. Like, I can tell you a quick story of me and my brother-in-law out making a hunting blind, and his grandpa, who was a precision guy, comes out and says, do you guys have a tape measure? Nope. You guys have a level? Nope. But we got boards and screws and screw guns. And we put the whole thing together. It might have been crooked, but
it worked.
We got it done. It finished. You got to come closer to your microphone. You're getting in trouble by Rick.
Just close enough.
I was saying a woman would have hung up that sign by now.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on a pellet flight case.
No,
Rick's calling us out. If you see behind me and Judy here, we have this beautiful sign here. Well, actually, they haven't seen it yet because that's the camera that failed last time, right?
They might not have seen it.
In the pictures.
So this is the first podcast of the Signsman back here because our camera got messed up last time. That's the one I'm pointing at is the new camera. So hopefully this looks great to you guys. But this sign is literally, I don't know if they can even see it, what it looks like on the camera, but it's literally just sitting on like a hard shell Pelican case because we haven't mounted it on the wall because really that would just waste a lot of time. We got to keep moving it out of the way anyway. Yeah, it's good enough. See, good enough. It'll work fine.
So there's another story out there. Nelson from Economy Sign Supply, his mother-in-law, we were hanging her TV in her bedroom. We may not have used a tape measure or level either, and that TV may be a little bit crooked.
Works though.
So, but it's still hanging. It didn't fall off the wall, right?
Yep. Good enough.
They said put it up. We put it up.
And she probably goes crazy every time she looks at it.
Probably, but it's still on the wall. They just said, get the TV on the wall. We got the TV on the wall.
Listen to the sub points. That's the whole thing, I think, here. But yeah, so if you listen to this and either you're a man or a woman, let us know if we got it right. I think all the women would agree. There would be some men that would disagree, but it's probably because they weren't listening.
They were hearing, but they weren't listening.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were shaking their head yes.
And then they were, wait, no. Oh, maybe yes, actually. That might actually be accurate. So...
Do you have more on your list?
That's all I had.
Okay, I got one. This one comes from Elby from Pan Am. This is his. An LED driver, you're supposed to take 10% less than what it takes. So 8 watts does so many modules. And he said, if you tell someone it takes 50, us guys will put 55 on. And
push the limit.
Because, well, if it can take 50, it can take 55. Like, and that's why you tell them less. And he said a woman, they'll put 45 on to make sure it's safe. So that was one from friends down there in Miami. Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's the same with, in that same regard as like safety features on any machines. Like we always joke about, like you go into shops that are running UV printers and they're running it with the front open, which you can't do. And then you look in there and they've just permanently wedged a screw into the spot that shows you that it's closed, because that would just waste their time if they got to open and close that thing all the time. Or the same with like anyone doing like neon, or like that's a lot of like live current there. Most of those safety features are just disabled before they even started using it. So
for sure. Well, they used to put, when we were kids is when they started putting stickers on, like, don't do this. Like a wagon came, don't stand up in the wagon. Well, thanks for giving us the idea. Like that's when it started. And we thought it was ideas. Oh, don't stand up in the wagon. Don't put your kid in the cooler.
It was a challenge.
Like, who's done these things? Who put their kid in the cooler? Like who's done these things that they had to put a sticker on there to say,
It's probably a sign guy, just across the board for all things, not even sign related.
I think that's why I end up in the sign industry, is because of that.
Yeah. You fit right in.
Yeah. I was definitely the guy standing up in the wagon while somebody else was pedaling their bike with the rope attached to the wagon, seeing how fast we could go.
I was just joking. We just came back from the Sign World show, and I was talking to a guy there about how it's funny, like that I come to this show, right? And these people are from all over the United States. And I said, they all fit into one stereotype. I was like, literally, if I just drew it on the board, 95% of these people would fit into that stereotype. And I was like, I don't understand what it is. Like, they're all over the United States, but the reality is, like, they all kind of have very similar mindsets. And I don't know what it is about this industry that draws those people in, but...
So are you saying only 5% of the sign industry is women?
Well, no, there's some guys that are... there's some guys that are better listeners. That's the 5%. It might be lower than that, though. We'd have to fact check it.
Someone can do just recently, though, probably in just the last 5 or 6 years, there's been more and more women in the sign industry. I know when I first started, it was all men. Literally all, like, you never saw a girl even come to the counter. Like, once in a while, someone would send their daughter in, but now it's a lot different. We have some really good customers that are women that own their shops they're doing very well, and they know what the rest of us do really bad. Yeah, so they do it really well. Like, they're really good at that. That's the one I'm thinking about especially. Is Sign Fab? Is that the right? The one that does social media?
Just Fab.
She does social media very, very well. Like, very well. Like, compared to every other person that we know in the sign industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with like the wrap side of the business too. There's a lot more women getting into that side of the business now too, which is good. That's kind of the joke that we were running about, which you just brought up, is it's been a very male dominated industry for a long time, which is kind of why we've always ran too with like women owned business, right? Because that's like in this industry.
You gotta be the only one left.
Yeah. I would be fairly confident of the ones that we know.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It was only you and Midwest Sign and Screen for a while that I know of, like, besides FTC too.
So yeah, we're just saying, it's probably good that we're getting more women in. The signs have been a lot straighter, a lot more evenly lit, a little less failures from those customers. So we appreciate it. A little more attention to detail probably was needed all along. So
yeah, I would agree. They're making us better, because now, like, okay, well, now we have to put a straight up. We have to put a straight sign now because they
got to compete with someone that put their sign up straight. Like, oh shoot, okay, I guess we'll bring up a level this time. Yep. Fine. So it's kind of funny, but yeah, we just want to make this Happy Mother's Day, like we said. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all the women that are listening, and let us know what you thought. If it was good, bad, if our stereotypes were right or wrong. I think most of the women, like I said, would agree, and the men would disagree, but because they weren't listening. So hopefully this was a good episode for you.
And one more thing. Thank you, Jared, for voting us number one. We appreciate it.
Who is Jared? Who is Jared? Where is he from?
Jared Granberry is the president of GSG, and his wife needs a happy Mother's Day too, because she has to put up with him. Plus, she has 3 daughters at home. Like, definitely, she's probably Mother of the Year just for putting up with Jared.
I understand that one. Yeah. So,
her and Nikki probably fighting for it.
That's probably true.
My wife and Jared's wife probably fighting for Mother of the Year just for having to put up with us.
Yeah. Not even related to their kids, just their husbands. Makes sense. But all right, well, hopefully this was a good episode. If you guys enjoyed it, let us know in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you can find us. And like I said, thanks for watching.
And thanks again for Judy for showing up again.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you for all the notice.
Hey, no problem.
It wasn't terrible, was it? We were pretty tame.
I'm much more comfortable this time.
That's good. Well, it wasn't you this time, so that makes it easier.
True.
It wasn't directly on you, yeah.
That's true. So we'll have Judy on again. Her last one went so well that we had to have her back on. So
you know how many people have said if we want to sponsor the next time Judy's on because we want to, send bourbon and stuff like that to get Judy really fired up so she really tells what she thinks about Mike. Like at least a dozen people have said,
I would not have to have bourbon to tell you what I really think of Mike.
Have to tell you that it's
yes.
Yeah, a lot of people said they thought you held back a little bit on me and they wanted to let you loose a little bit. So
all right, we'll bring that episode back at some point. So a lot of people will agree with you, so it should be pretty easy. So once again, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.